Bro, this is gonna sound absolutely crazy, man. But most of your problems, most of my problems, and also most of men's problems in general with life and with women stem from one single thing: an over sexualized brain. So, why is it so difficult for us men to break free from this over sexualized brain? Well, first of all, man, there's an entire industry built around this where you are the product, man. Your attention and your wallet is the product, and your soul, actually. You've got Insta chicks promoting their only scams. You have Cornhub. You have first thirst traps all over the internet. So it's impossible almost to evade all this. And that's why you're so programmed to the sexualized stuff. Thing is, you are way more powerful than you think, man. Once you become aware of the damage an over sexualized brain gives or does, man, that's when you realize I need to stop right away because this is messed up, man. And before I tell you how you can break free from that, I'm going to answer one more important question that you might ask yourself right now. Who the fuck am I? Why should I listen to him? First of all, bro, you don't have to follow any of my advice. If, however, you see something resonating with you, bro, I encourage you to follow my steps because it's going to help you a lot. Trust me. So let me share with you how I managed to break free from this after, I think, 13, 15 years of addiction. How was I over sexualized? I cheated on average with around, give or take, 30 girls per girl. So you do the math in terms of how many women I've been with. I'm not saying that to brag, I'm simply giving you context. And the problem is, man, at the time that you're doing it, or at least I didn't recognize that there was anything wrong with it. I thought it's absolutely normal. I'm a player, I'm a stud, I'm the great guy. After years and years of an over sexualized brain, man, it becomes quite bad. The problems are terrible, man. The most embarrassing for me, man, was ED. There were times where I couldn't get it up anymore. I was with a beautiful girlfriend, 8 out of 10, I'd say. Really nice melons, really nice peach, blonde, blue eyes, typical German woman. And man, she begged me to sleep with her, and I couldn't because I didn't have any interest. And even when I was horny, I was like, nah, I don't really feel like it anymore. And where did this over sexualized brain come from? Because I watched way too much Cornhub. Man, I beat my meat for like 2 or 3 times a day, even when she was in the other room. It was crazy, man. It really messed up my relationship. The thing is, when you experience ED, that really messes with your head, man, because you don't think or you don't see yourself as a man anymore. You don't see yourself as this masculine guy anymore. And it really messed with my head. It had an impact on my career. I was a managing director at a tech startup, but it messed with my confidence, bro. Every time I showed up to the office, I was like, I started to become a bit more anxious. And the thing is, because I was watching so much corn, I also started to lose drive and energy. I felt quite drained the day after. I felt like a lack of drive for anything. I didn't really have the motivation, so I really had to drag myself out of bed. Because I trained my brain that everything I want, it was one click away from whenever I had this desire and this urge overcoming me. So my brain got overstimulated, and because my dopamine spike was so high, the crash after I wasn't going back to baseline, it crashed right through it. So none of the dopamine hits in real life could compete with the hit from watching Korn. Andrew Huberman talks about this as well, where he said that the dopamine crash or the corn crash is worse or is almost as bad as any if you use white powder, for instance. And then you lose drive, you become lazy, and then when you beat the meat, like you don't really get it up either, but you still force yourself, and then you are just disappointed in yourself, bro. Which then leads to the next problem: you become a bit lonely because you start withdrawing. You're lazy, it impacts your job. You come home, you're like, nah, I just want to chill. And chilling means, we both know what it means: tissues, maybe you use lotion, few clicks, go to third page, fourth page, and then you watch some weird stuff. You hide away in your room and just watch more Netflix, YouTube, play a bit more video games, right? Shocking problem is you become lonely, man. You're not alone, but you feel lonely. You're longing for connection. But that connection isn't on Cornhub. The real problem that you have right now, or at least I had, was that I developed social anxiety. So I was longing for true connection, but I couldn't really get it because I was too afraid to talk to women now. I was so anxious, bro. And every time there was a beautiful woman, man, I got so shy. I was like talking my way out of talking her because I was like, oh my gosh, what is she thinking? What are the people around me thinking? So I was always head down. I was like, please, like, I need to run away. I need to go back to my safe zone, watch some more corn to calm down my nerves. But the thing is, I still felt lonely. So when I mustered up my courage to talk to women, I actually overcame my approach anxiety. I pedestalized them, bro. I didn't see them as a human being. I saw them as goddesses. They were like so special. They're so beautiful. I am unworthy of these women. And the worst part was like, even when I started becoming a bit more comfortable approaching women, I was still lingering around them. It took me like minutes to talk myself into talking to them. So in a coffee shop, for instance, I was observing them and they saw me looking at them. And at some point, you reach a threshold where it's actually starts to become creepy that you don't approach them. There's always a window of opportunity where women are really interested, like if they're interested and they want you to approach, and you pick up on that sign and you don't approach her, even though she's becoming aware that you want to approach her, because and women feel that, man, that is creepy. And then when you actually approach her, it's too late. She's gonna be like, you're weak. You're you're a weak little bitch, man. Yo, man, if you're enjoying this video, hit the like button, comment below, and subscribe. It would really help me a lot because obviously you can see I'm a small YouTuber. It will help me grow. I grow, I'm gonna change the world with you together. Thank you. One day, man, it hit me I think it was a Monday morning when I woke up about to head to work. I was like, something's going really wrong with my life. I had this post-nut clarity thoughts. I'm like, man, what the fuck is what the fuck is going on with my life? Is that truly the man that I want to become? That's when it clicked, man. It only clicked because I got angry with the version I became at that moment. I was angry at the point of life that I've reached. I was so mad at myself for wasting so much time and energy and also money on this stuff, bro. I was almost ashamed of myself, man. When I had that realization, I was like, man, nah, man, something needs to change. So how did I break free from that after I had this massive realization? Well, I was working quite closely with the founder at that startup, and he gave me a powerful question for sales, but I used the same question as a life question, which is, what emotion are you running away from? You want to do an important task and then you suddenly have to clean the kitchen, or you are hungry suddenly, or you open another tab. That's a sign that you're running away from an emotion. I use this question to identify my triggers. What emotion am I running away from when I'm trying to go to corn? I'm anxious, I'm scared, I'm bored. Those are triggers. Then on top, of course, when you're constantly exposed to this kind of stuff, Instagram, the Insta models, the Insta chicks, who are all there for your attention. I unfollowed all of them, man. It wasn't easy, but I really unfollowed all of them. Now, sometimes you can still get triggered. What I advise here is something that I also use for my coaching now, because I came across this by chance, actually. But it changed my life. Self-talk, but not in your head. Say it out loud. Say, bro, do you want to be that man who beats his meat? Do you want to be that man who wastes his potential? And I literally said this out loud to me, like when I was walking and had like negative thoughts. You can apply that concept there as well. Or when I was like on the couch and about to do it, I literally had this circuit breaker that kicked in and said, like, man, you definitely don't want to become that kind of man, right? And I had this kind of tough love conversation with myself, and I applied that to I applied it to so many other areas of my life, so I can hype myself up. I became my best friend. I would never tell my best friend to fucking watch corn. I would pull him out of the gutter. And that's why I advise you to become your own best friend. And what really helped me break through this in a sustainable way was Wim Hof breathing. Every morning, 10 minutes. I've been doing it for 3 years. And man, it truly changed everything, because it regulates your nervous system. And when you're anxious, when you're scared, when you're running away from emotions, you're nervous. So with breathing, do it with me. You see how you immediately calm down, man? It's crazy. The last point is actually the most important point. You gotta find your purpose again, man. Like, what is your mission? What is your vision? Because the reason why when we're so sexualized and over sexualized, we focus on pleasure, but we need to focus on purpose actually. And once you start working for meaning, you desexualize yourself in such a way that nothing else matters that much anymore. No woman can be as important. No matter how pretty she is, it will not create the same feeling of fulfillment and sensation that your purpose gives you. I'm not saying that you should not continue loving women.